When Audi joined the supercar circus back in 2006, they made a huge impression with their original V8 R8. And even though it is somewhat of a modern classic, it is still an Audi, which means it's just undergone its midlife improvements. And inevitably, those changes are so subtle they border on being invisible, because when you're faced with the challenge of improving the looks of what is arguably still one of the world's best-looking cars, the question is, what exactly do you do? The R8 Spyder with its roof down is still as achingly pretty as it ever was, and it's not what you'd call unattractive with the roof up either. Now, the changes. In front, new lights, but what's important here isn't the design, it's the fact that they are LED units and they are standard. And at the back, new lights. But what's important here is the fact that Audi have included a new kind of indicator, which will undoubtedly be copied by every other manufacturer on the planet, cheesy as they may be. There are also new exhaust tailpipe surrounds, giant rings that look like they've been borrowed from the planet Saturn and chromed up to be made to look more earthly. There really aren't any words that would do the styling of this car any service, so I'll just shut up and let you take in its fantasticness. That fantasticness is probably part of the reason Audi have only made one major change in here. It's not the engine, that's still a 316 kilowatt, 430 newton meter V8 with a 0 to 100 time of 4.5 seconds and a top speed of 300. It's also still got quattro all-wheel drive, but there is a new gearbox, and for that we can all be very thankful. The last R8 I drove was fitted with the R-tronic robotized manual, which at best could be seen as an early attempt by Audi to fit the car with some sort of race-ready technology, thereby making it a bit more hardcore. Unfortunately, it completely ruined the drive because of the constant interruption in power while the ponderous mechanicals swapped one gear for another. Now Audi have moved things up by one letter in the alphabet, and it's made a monumental difference. R-tronic has now become S-tronic, and the 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox is deeply impressive for a few reasons. Just a few years ago, Audi couldn't fit that kind of gearbox to this kind of car because of the engine layout and the amount of torque. Now, they haven't only overcome those engineering hurdles, they've made it super smooth, even when you're shifting gears at 8,000 RPM. There's no delay and almost no perception between gear changes, and that makes it, I can't believe I'm about to say that, almost too good. Supercars are all about sensations, and one of those sensations is a thump in your back as you shift gear, a physical action on your body that connects you to the power and aggression of the car. In the S-tronic R8, there is no thump. That particular connection of a supercar to its driver has been deleted, thanks to some engineering that, strangely, is as impressive as it is disappointing. But there's no need to worry too much about that because the car is rescued by the rest of the package. This might be the least powerful R8 you can buy, but it is still immensely quick, and it delivers all its power and its speed with one of the best V8 soundtracks on the planet. Never get tired of that. All the all-wheel drive grip, all the brilliant balance of the chassis. I've been lucky enough to drive a few R8s in my time, and they never ever fail to bring a smile to my face. Dropping the roof on the R8 just brings you closer to the action and makes the drive even more involving. I am very sad, however, that the R8 isn't available with a manual gearbox, with the sound of the shifter moving through the metal gates and the satisfying percussion of the gear changes. The S-tronic makes life around town a lot easier, but this car still isn't exactly happy in suburbia. If you have any doubt at all that the R8 is a supercar, all you need to do is drive it for a day or two and do the kinds of things that you would normally do in a sedan. Then you'll find that the suspension, which is superb in high-speed corners, is jarring just about everywhere else. The gearbox, which is normally super smooth, can be quite clunky at low revs. The steering gets heavy, and the turning circle is bordering on useless. All the typical supercar shortcomings are still very much apparent in the R8, although the interior does its best to cover up the car's built-for-speed genetics with a layer of luxury. The upgrades include an updated layout and some gloss black improvements. The equipment level is the same as it was with Bluetooth, climate control and Audi's media interface. The MMI system is still running the old software though, which means old graphics and no Google Maps. The S-tronic gearbox has undoubtedly improved the drive in the R8, although it's almost just a little bit too smooth for this kind of car. That said, it still delivers when driving hard, and it's got the power, the grip, and the noise to keep it ranked up there with the very best. Plus, the Spyder is now available with a V8 motor, which means open-top supercar fun is just that little bit closer. The R8 V8 delivers power and a real sense of speed with one of the best engine noises on the planet. It remains one of the most desirable cars on the road, even though the new S-tronic gearbox removes some of the driver involvement and some interior bits aren't exactly out of Audi's top drawer.
It's